Presenting Lord Prism. Hello and welcome to the Hypertrophy Odyssey, chapter 173. It is the first day of the week, aka the Vulcan Raven workout. I am currently on my way to the gym right now. It is actually earlier than I normally go, but it looks dark because it is officially fall now, so that's why. I already made a video about that. But anyways, to the main subject matter at hand today, and that is Medieval Times / Renaissance Fair. I don't know what I'm going to necessarily call it, but probably Renaissance Fair. I went to the Renaissance Fair this weekend, and I wanted to talk about my experience and a few realizations I had, but we'll get to that later. I have to let the plot thicken, because that was something that I saw in a video, and then there you go. That's going to be a whole other episode for a whole other day. But anyways, the Renaissance Fair. The state that I currently live in, Maryland, has their annual Renaissance Fair that lasts for a good chunk. I think it's like latter half of the summer until until November, maybe even December. It lasts a while, actually, thinking about it. It is there. It's huge. It was actually the best day to go because it was raining all Friday and then all Sunday, but Saturday, the day that I went, sold out and also super packed. It was very, very packed and also sunny. So that was the good part. I had bought tickets with the fingers crossed mentality because it is rain or shine there. But we'll probably go into the details of my experience while there when we get into the voiceover. But the Renaissance Fair has been around for God knows how long. I've known about it for literally over a decade. It's probably been there even longer. I actually don't even know. I think they're like 68 years or some shit like that. It's been there for quite some time. So it is something that is popular. I know that people love to go to it and stuff. I never been. This past weekend was the first time I'd ever been. So overall, it was interesting. I'll get more into the review and the details when I go on the inside. But I want to just generally talk about probably reasons why I've never gone before. One main reason why I never went is because I just didn't have the money for it. It's not like it was expensive or anything. I just never wanted to spend the cash to go / never really found the willingness to go. But last year the wife was like, hey, let's go to the Renaissance Fair, and I was like, all right. And then it was like we didn't end up going just because it's like we were supposed to buy tickets, but we just never did. And then this year we were like, all right, let's buy them and go, and then we bought them and went. So that's why it became a thing this year. But generally speaking, when you go to a Renaissance Fair or just anything like that, I personally think of things like, well, medieval times, obviously, but also just high fantasy, dragons, warlocks, goblins, slaying dragons. I've already said dragons twice. Imagine dragons. Things like that. And it's a very interesting setting, I gotta say. We'll probably talk a little bit more about that in the voiceover too. But generally speaking, good time. And I will talk about whether or not I do it later, but overall, good time. And I'll say this, it was definitely an experience that I don't regret. I will say that. So it was very nice on that front, and also not that expensive. I thought it would be more expensive, not as expensive. One of the interesting things that I found just kind of there is that a lot of places there ended up just being cash only, which was very weird. It's been a while since I've been to a place that was cash only. It's been quite some time. Not everything was cash only, but a lot of it was. So yeah, it made certain things a lot quicker, and I was like, man, it's been forever since I've been to a place like this. Just generally speaking, the world has moved to credit cards for such a long time now that it's kind of strange to go back to a place that uses cash. Just generally speaking, it's almost like, what? A little bit of a whoa, okay. So that was just interesting, but that's not even a real side note. I just wanted to mention that. But with that being said, I will get into more detail on the inside. All right, so start this day off with lat pull downs, which were pretty good. But anyways, it's funny watching this back because something happens to me, which I will discuss in the following episode, but we'll talk about that when we get there. Anyways, the Renaissance Fair. So, Renaissance Fair, relatively good time. Very, 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 very packed the day that I went. It was a Saturday, so of course it was going to be packed. The only thing that sucks about having a job now is that now I have to be part of that crowd that ends up going to places on the weekend, but I've already made a video about this, I think, at least. But still, regardless, went there, and my experience was pretty good, I have to say. I was actually very shocked at how pleasant it was. The only thing that was kind of surprising was how hilly and muddy it was. The mud made sense because it had like thunderstormed the night before. But I was more shocked because there were people coming in on like with walkers and like, you know, assisted walking machinery and things like that. That type of stuff. And I was like, how the hell are they going to get through this? Just because even I'm like, you know, trying to like get through the side of a hill in order to go to a store or something like that that's there. So it was kind of interesting for that fact. I was like, huh, I wonder how these people are going to have to do this. But besides that, overall, it was a good time. Got some food, which was nice. Got a funnel cake, which I didn't get to get over the summer, which was very nice. Didn't do any drinking because the lines to get the band in order to prove that you're 21 were just redonkulous. So I was just like, ah, fuck that. And I don't want to drink. It's not worth it. So just went in. Tried to enjoy the show for the jousting, but unfortunately, there was a lot of sun at that moment and we didn't bring anything to cover ourselves, so it was like we were getting burnt after a while, so we just said fuck this. So that was interesting. But after doing a lap and checking a few stores out, a few eateries and a few things like that, we left relatively early in comparison to where most people were just getting there, I guess I would say. We were there for about 2 to 3 hours and it was nice and I was very glad to go. I would say, would I go again? Probably not. And I think this is where I have come to the conclusion that the medieval times era of stuff is just not for me. It's just not my thing. Not that I wouldn't enjoy something that takes place in it, maybe a video game, maybe even a movie, things like that. But the entire idea of like dressing up and pretending it is ye old time, you know, that entire thing, it does not interest me. I realized that when there, like right after, I was like, huh, this just isn't my thing. And it's weird to think about because most of the time you can kind of get what you get and what you don't get when it comes to like high fantasy, sci-fi, you know, horror, whatever, you know, your little niche that is within a niche, right? So a genre within a genre that you enjoy. And I guess I never realized that medieval times was not one for me. I didn't realize that. I didn't like actually pay attention to that. So I was kind of like taken aback a little bit, like, I guess I just don't like this. I mean, I wouldn't say I hate it because I don't say I dislike it at all. I just don't love it. So I'm just kind of meh about it. And being meh about stuff like that is kind of interesting. You don't really realize that you can take it or leave it. So for me, I could take it or leave it. I was happy that I went and I was very happy about going because that was something that I've been wanting to go to for a few years now. I realize now also, if I want to go back, I think it would have to be like a special event that would make me want to go back. I don't think I'd ever really pay money to go out there again. It was fun for the little time that it was, but I just wouldn't do it again. It wasn't anything too spectacular, but I would recommend anybody to go at least once to check it out and see if it's their thing. Because for some people, it is their thing, and I'm not necessarily shitting on that. It's just not my thing. That's, I guess, when you get older, you kind of realize certain things like that. Or maybe when you're younger, I just never put 2 and 2 together. But this was one of those experiences that made me put 2 and 2 together. And I was like, huh, yeah, no, this just ain't for me. And now a word from our friends that you wouldn't expect. I'll tell you that right now.
Once there were a few proud men of adventure, men of courage, men who knew the meaning of honor. There still are the Marines. We're looking for a few good men.
And we're back. Welcome to the workout debriefing. Exercise is not filmed, none. Exercise is skipped, also none. Got everything in, thankfully. Gym was packed, but who cares? It is already done, and I'm out a little earlier than I normally am, so I have a little bit of time. So that's kind of nice. But anyways, back to the main subject matter at hand. The Renaissance Fair. I'm glad I went. I'm not upset that I went, but I'll say this. I don't think I'll go again. I've realized something, and that is that the Renaissance Fair and slash that entire thing of fantasy that's like, you know, medieval fantasy, you know, dragons, Dungeons and Dragons, that entire genre doesn't really appeal to me. It's not like I can't accept that some things are cool, some of the art's cool, some of the things that are cool that are based in that time zone or that realm of reality. Pretty cool. I can get down with it, but it's just not my main thing. I don't go out to look for it. It isn't the thing that I'm like, oh yeah, fuck yeah. Like I'm not like ultra into it. And that's fine. I'm actually kind of glad that I went there and found out that this isn't my like mega thing, because it's kind of nice to know. It's like, all right, I never really have to wonder if this is my thing or not. I just kind of know now. It's like, all right, I just not into it. If I'm like skip a movie with this aesthetic, I can just be like, yeah, whatever. I don't have to watch it. It is what it is. I feel like I should have probably already known this, but also just engulfing myself into that genre, I've kind of like been like, oh, okay. It is what it is, but it's nice. It's nice to know, and I would probably not go again, but it's nice to know that this happened. So now I'm not in wonderance of whether or not I wanted to go, whether I would like it or not, whether it was fun or not. It was fun, but it just wasn't necessarily my cup of tea, so it is what it is. But with that being said, tell me what you think in the comments below. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions about whether you like fantasy or not, the medieval time stuff, or just generally whatever that subject matter is. Or if you're not a fan of it, tell me why. I would love to know. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. I will be back on tomorrow with a new video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video with anybody who may or may not like it. Thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I will see you in the next one. Take care. Keep it heavy. Stay safe out there. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.